Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking into some really significant accounts, the events around Jesus from Gethsemane through to the resurrection.
That's right. We've got these excerpts detailing a really intense period.
And our aim isn't just to recount the story, it's more about digging into the key moments, maybe what they signify about facing deep challenges.
Exactly. And Gethsemane, right at the start, it just hits you with this raw emotion, that prayer, take this cup, but your will be done.
Mm-hmm.
It feels less about just avoiding pain and more like a conscious choice, doesn't it? Choosing a really hard path for, something bigger.
Yeah, a greater purpose. It makes you think maybe about those times we face our own crossroads, where what's comfortable clashes with what feels necessary or right.
That internal struggle is so clear. And then, bam, almost immediately the betrayal.
With the kiss of all things. Used to identify him for capture.
Yeah, and then straight into an unfair trials. Quite the sequence.
It really shows how quickly things can turn and how even closeness doesn't prevent betrayal. Makes you reflect on dealing with unfairness yourself, perhaps.
For sure. And that injustice, it just escalates, really. The narrative then dives into the physical suffering.
Right. The mockery, the beatings, that crown of thorns.
And carrying the cross itself to Golgotha. And then the crucifixion, the nails. It's brutal, very brutal details. They really emphasize the personal cost involved in this story.
They do. It's tough material, but it's central to the account.
And then around the crucifixion itself, these dramatic events happen. The cry is finished.
Yes, and the darkness over the land, the earthquake. The temple curtain tearing in two.
Those feel really significant, symbolic almost, like they're trying to say something huge happened.
Well, you could see them as symbolizing the sheer weight, the cosmic importance placed on that moment. It's portrayed as a turning point.
Okay, and after all that intensity...
Silence.
Right, 3 days in the tomb. That period must have felt like absolute finality, like hope was just...
Yeah.
Gone.
That feeling of silence and loss when things seem utterly finished. We all face versions of that, I suppose.
We do. But then the narrative shifts again, completely unexpected.
The women going to the tomb.
And finding it empty. And the angel's message, it's so direct. Why look for the living as among the dead? He's not here. He's risen.
Wow. Talk about a reversal. That's really the core of it, isn't it?
It absolutely is. The resurrection isn't just presented as coming back to life, but as a victory, a fundamental victory over death itself.
From despair to what the texts call a living hope.
Exactly, a living hope. The suggestion is that even the ultimate end, death, might not actually be the end.
And this isn't just framed as history, is it? The sources seem to connect it directly to us, to the listener.
Mm-hmm. The promise there is essentially, because he lives, you also will live. It's a pretty profound claim about life, death, and what comes after.
It really is. A claim about enduring hope, even when facing our own mortality. Does that resonate, that idea?
So, reflecting on it all, we've kind of traced this path from deep struggle, betrayal, suffering, apparent total defeat,
to this incredible declaration of victory over death itself. The whole arc is quite something.
It is indeed.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, maybe here's something to consider. If you take the central claim of this narrative seriously, that death isn't the final word, how might that, fundamentally change the way you look at challenges or uncertainty, both right now and, looking towards the future?
It definitely invites some reflection on hope, doesn't it? Especially when things feel insurmountable.
Yeah, something to think about.